Good morning and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Lisa Moore, the intern minister here, and I'm joined today by Service Associate Pau Scudder, One Voice, Colorado UU music leaders, and Tad Correa providing music, and our tech ushers, Mary Stackpole and Deborah Mensch, who are helping things run very, very smoothly. And of course, the most important people to mention are all of you. This fellowship and all the wonderful people you are the reason we do any of it. As I say the welcome words today, I invite you to shift into gallery mode if you haven't already done so, and scroll through the screens so you can experience the lovely diversity of this congregation. Because without it and without you, there would be no us. You are all welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways that you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you are and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you make your living and the places you are from, you are welcome here. Christian, pagan, humanist, Jew, Buddhist, mystic, Muslim, Unitarian, Universalist are still questioning. With all the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today. No matter how long you are away or how soon you will return, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you here today. I have a few announcements this morning. Reverend Lydia and the Board of Trustees have contracted with a UU consultant, Julica Herman de la Fuente, to help us with our ongoing inclusivity and anti-racism work. We are beginning with two 90-minute workshops, which both build on one another and also stand alone. So mark your calendars for Sunday, January 3rd at 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Thursday, January 14th, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. You can register now at the link shown in the chat. Additionally, we have some Christmas Eve services for you. Christmas Eve is almost here, and we have two fabulous services to offer this year, both of them in collaboration with other local UU congregations. The links are also in the Connections Weekly and are being placed in the chat. The 4 p.m. at the 4 p.m. service, we are collaborating with the Boulder, the UU Church of Boulder and the Longmont UU Presence to bring a Zoom version of a family Christmas pageant. So yes, you'll have the opportunity to dress up like an angel, a shepherd, or a donkey this year, or a sheep or pig, and you can even use Zoom costumes if you don't have any costumes at home. But please, if you can, wear your costumes and bring a candle to the service in the service of the traditional candle-lit silent night. Then at 7 p.m., we'll have a more traditional service with carols, scripture, story, and reflections, co-created with 10 UU congregations along the Front Range and into Utah. If you're new here, we are glad you found us. And we hope that this virtual community, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Each Sunday is a little different here, so please come back a few times to really get to know us. If you want to get better connected, please see the chat window for the link to the first-time visitors page, or email your information to our office manager, Carol, at officemanager@bvuuf.org. Her email will also be in the chat window as well. And be sure to check out our fellowship calendar and Connections Weekly for all the opportunities we have to stay connected. Finally, if any of you newbies would like to introduce yourself in the chat, please do. We'd love to know who is among us. All are invited to stay for virtual coffee hour after the service, or a post-discussion service with me and Pau. With this, the eve of winter solstice, we celebrate the darkness of this season and the stillness it can bring. As you might be able to see, I'll bring it over here so you can see it a little bit better. I have the chalice already lit. If you have a chalice at home, please quickly light it now. And then we will extinguish our chalices with our usual closing words. So we can acknowledge our connection even though we might not be physically together in the moment. Please, if you'd like, share in the chat room the name of the town where you and your chalice are located. Please say the words along with me as I extinguish our chalice. I'll go slowly so you can follow along. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. And now I'll sing our bowl again, inviting you to draw deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community. I will let it ring for a little bit so that we can meditate.
Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
Our opening words are from our gray hymnal, number 543, Winter by Greta Crosby. Let us not wish away winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring.
When trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in sky and trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets.
The clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delight. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unique. A low, dark sky can snow, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. Snow invites to contemplation and to sport.
Winter is a table set with ice and starlight.
Winter, dark, tends to warm light, fire and candle. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter want to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. And the zest of narrow escapes. Winter tedium to merrymaking.
Therefore, let us thus therefore praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant negativities. Winter solstice this year is on December 21st at 3:02 a.m. our time. This is the solstice moment when the sun reaches its southernmost point in the sky. This moment happens at the same instant for everyone on our dear planet. For us in the northern hemisphere, it is a time to celebrate midwinter and the joy of the return of the sun and increased daylight. Well, I love all the seasons. As I've grown older, wintertime has found a special place in my heart. There is something about the stillness and the coolness that makes me calm down a little bit. In the evenings, as it's dark, I like to take my dog out for a walk in our neighborhood. And I notice even the cars seem a little bit more silent. Some of the snow around helping to muffle the noise. If the night is clear and there is some snow on the ground, I like to observe how a gentle light goes across the snow and gives it slight sparkle and glimmering and shimmering. The beauty of the stillness is that it doesn't mean that things are not happening. Even when we sit in meditation, there is a flurry of activity happening within our bodies. Blood pumping through our bodies, the expansion and contraction of our lungs, our muscles holding us in place so we don't just fall over. We have our nervous systems working, our digestive systems working, our lymphatic systems working. And yet at that time, if we were just sitting and meditating, somebody might observe us as doing nothing at all, maybe even sleeping. In nature, bears hibernate, deep in slumber. Their bodies do not stop. They are consuming the fat and stores of energy that they have accumulated through the previous months. The mother bears might be even giving birth to their baby cubs. Sometime mid between the autumnal equinox and winter solstice, I notice my body mostly, wanting to eat more and move less. The frenetic energy of the season, what used to be maybe harvesting, preparing food for winter, canning, drying out meats, preparing and gathering fuel and firewood for our long winter's nap, has been replaced by the frenetic energy of shopping and dashing to holiday parties. or at least we used to. Eating too much, maybe drinking a little too much. The energy is still there. It's just harnessed differently. Just as a critter is preparing for the deep stillness of winter, squirrels and bears. I wonder if COVID messed with our natural rhythms by forcing us into an almost full year of stillness, where usually we would be running about, enjoying the summer, going to summer barbecues and picnics and holidays and being with family. And yet at the springtime, we were forced almost to extend our hibernation, stay in and not go anywhere. So now we approach the winter solstice. We can look forward to the return of more sunlight. At this time, I also noticed the synchronicity of the timing of the corona vaccine. I do confess I've never been on the other side of the equator, so I don't know how my body would adjust to the flipping of seasons in a sudden change of being in the opposite season of being in summer when my body is used to being in winter. We welcome the sun. We welcome the brightness and the moving. And we can also now welcome a slow return to a feeling of normalcy. Things will never be the same as they were, but they never are. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing. The stillness within and the stillness without seem to work together at the time of winter solstice. We are ready to welcome the light. We are ready to begin a new year and cast the old aside. We continue to enjoy these moments of stillness, even as the solstice comes and goes, and we travel one more time around the sun. We are now going to invite you into another time of stillness and music.
And now I invite you into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. If you'd like to share a joy or concern, please raise your hand using the button on the participants window, and Tech Usher Deborah will unmute you, or you may see a pop-up window asking you to unmute yourself. If you prefer, you can share your joy or concern in the chat window by sending a chat to everyone, and then Deborah will read out loud what you send. When you do share, whether by voice or by chat, please tell us your name and where you live, and briefly let us know what is in your heart today. Lisa will put a stone in our sacred waters on your behalf.
The pastoral prayer today comes from Reverend Samuel A. Trumbore. It's a breath meditation. Let us turn inward now. Feel the rhythm of the breath. In and out, and in and out. Find the peace of just being with the flow of the breath. Letting go of yesterday and tomorrow. Feel the restorative power of the peace of this moment. A peace large enough to open to the concerns and sorrows that trouble us. A stillness quiet enough to respond to the joys and celebrations that enliven us. There is safety here in the rhythm of the breath. The ebb and flow of life is enacted with each one, taking in oxygen sustenance, letting go of carbon dioxide waste, taking in the fullness of experience, letting go of the residue that wants to cling to us. Cultivate inner peace and inner safety in this sanctuary dedicated to cultivating the spirit of life, dedicated to being a beacon of love for all beings. So our offering today is going to the minister's discretionary fund. Each week we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives in this community. We usually give half the plate away, but for today we are going to give their full plate to this fund. At one of the worst times in my life, the minister of my home congregation used funds from their minister's discretionary fund to help me. Without that support, I am not sure if I would be here with you today. The minister's discretionary fund at Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship was established so that Lydia and any minister that may go after her can support those within our congregation who are experiencing financial hardship or maybe just need a little extra TLC. Over the years, Reverend Lydia has used the fund for alternative therapies to support people with cancer, help people buy tires so they could drive to visit family, fund mental health services for members in need. With the economic impacts of the pandemic, Reverend Lydia has noted that larger and more frequent requests are coming in for the needs like rent and mortgage payments. If you need help, please do not hesitate to contact Reverend Lydia if you find yourself in need of financial support. When things feel bleak, it is our community that can support us during that span of time. When we are joyous, the ability to share our abundance with those around us creates more joy and grace for others and also for us. If you'd like, please mention in the chat when you have experienced abundance and or support within our community. For the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and to the abundance we share through the Minister's Discretionary Fund, we dedicate our offerings.
And now we sing. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Well, we strayed a little from our original script, but Lisa, I think this is time to introduce Wake Now My Senses. Is that right? You're on mute.
I apologize. Yes, we are now going to have the music of Wake Now My Senses and we invite you to sing along.
Take now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being it all. Keep with the web of creation your love. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Make now compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Speak as wonderful strength and friend, breaking and striving their hearts into Make now my conscience with justice thy kind. Join with the people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privilege blessed. God's love embraces the whole race. Make now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Good for the planet, transformed by our care.
As we now welcome the increase in daylight at the advent of solstice, I invite you now to relight your chalice as I relight our chalice. I'll go slowly so you can follow along. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Remember the solstice moment and every moment where we all experience something, the same thing at the same time. It happens at least 4 times a year, maybe more. Let us go forth, enjoy the stillness, enjoy the darkness, and maybe even enjoy the cold. Because remembering that we always have the warmth of our community that binds us together, and where we can share our joys and our concerns and our lives. Blessed be.